going on, dudes and dudettes? So, yes, yesterday the Chargers did get their final win of the season against Denver, avenging the loss they had a few weeks ago to them at home. So a good thing for that, but it still didn't matter because Kansas City won as well, so they locked up that number 1 seed. So the Chargers did get the 5th seed, and I'll talk about who they're playing later. But we did find out some news today from the head coach that both Melvin Gordon, the running back, and Hunter Henry, the tight end who's been out all season so far, are practicing as if they're going to be able to play this Sunday coming up. So that's really good. Hopefully that can happen, but they did lose another linebacker / defensive end in Jatavis Brown to an ankle injury, so he's going to be out for the rest of the year. So obviously the ex-USC linebacker Hayes Pullard, who's really used to the whole defensive system, is going to be plugged in. So hopefully he can do a good job for them. He did pretty well for them yesterday against Denver. So hopefully that goes well. And then also they're asking if is there going to be a successor that the Chargers are going to pick for Phillip Rivers in this year's draft. I honestly believe they should have done it a few years ago, but at least they're finally, hopefully, thinking in the right direction. Obviously, a lot of the guys I like, Drew Lock, a quarterback out of Missouri, if he still ends up in the draft. Daniel Jones, the same thing, the quarterback from Duke, who is a junior as well, so he could go back to college if he wants to. Will Greer, the quarterback from West Virginia, I really like. But it's just going to depend if any of those guys are going to be picked higher in the draft now, because the top guy who was supposed to be coming out of Oregon, Justin Herbert, decided to go back to Oregon for his final year. So now I think a lot of these teams are going to reach for a lot of these guys. I just hope not, and they'll fall to the Chargers hopefully later in the drafts, but we'll see how that goes. Should be interesting. And then also the Chargers did get their opponent for the playoffs in the first round, and of course it's the Baltimore Ravens, who they played a few weeks ago and they lost to, but hopefully they can avenge that loss against the Baltimore Ravens. Should be very close, competitive game. And then eventually after that, the next round they'll play against the New England Patriots, who always seem to have the Chargers number in the playoffs, and it will be at New England as well. So that's gonna suck pretty much too, especially with Phillip Rivers throwing in that bad conditions, especially weather-wise. But hopefully good things end up going for the Chargers. I might watch a game or two. I mean, I'm not gonna try to push this luck, but we'll see how that goes. So the Lakers did get a win against the Kings the other day, or I believe it was yesterday, but they were on a 2-game losing streak, but at least they're on their way to at least a new winning streak. But they did have news the other week before those games that both LeBron and Rondo were out. Rondo officially had his surgery, so he's going to be out for a month, which is going to be tough, but does give more opportunity for younger players and everybody else to get going, and luckily it worked out yesterday. But it was a pretty close game again against a team that is surprisingly doing very well this year, but hopefully they can string a couple of good ones before LeBron gets back, hopefully sooner rather than later. And speaking of LeBron, it was also his 34th birthday the other day, I believe, during the game, so happy birthday. Can't believe he's that age and still playing at high of a level as he is. Hopefully his injury doesn't linger on just because of how much older he is now, because I mean, before he was like an Iron Man because he never really missed that much time, especially during the season. But well, hopefully this one doesn't last long because of his age. And then also, speaking of those young guys that should be getting more playing time, I believe even before this all happened, was Svi Mikhailuk. Excuse me, the 2nd round pick they had this year, the rookie, and they sent him down to the G League, and he, of course, ended up exploding for like 47 points in his game before their very last game. So that's pretty crazy. That's awesome that he was able to do that, but just obvious that these guys need a bit more playing time instead of getting 15-20 minutes here and there and not being able to get into any rhythm. But the Lakers just have a lot of guys, and I think a trade or two are coming this year or not, whether it's for a known person or not, just to be able to get two guys off and have another sort of veteran guy to pick up the pace and not be too afraid of the moment. But that's just my opinion. We'll see how that goes, and yes, let's keep on going. So USC also got a win yesterday against UC Davis. Obviously, they should win that game with the amount of talent they have, but of course they were struggling in the beginning, but luckily they blew it out to an almost 20-point victory. But another USC NBA news, the ex-guard DeMar DeRozan became the highest scoring point total of any USC player in the NBA the other day, so that's really cool for him. Congrats. Also, I guess before the game yesterday, they said that a guy was going to be suspended indefinitely, but they never really mentioned why. And I believe he put out something on Twitter, but apparently he's transferring for some type of misconduct of rules or something like that. But he's officially leaving Jordan Usher, the forward, which kind of sucks because he was actually having a really good year and getting more playing time. But of course, all of a sudden something has to happen to the USC basketball team, and we'll see how this goes, but it should be very interesting to see what happens. Hopefully he has continued success along his way. And also the Ducks acquired Trevor Murphy, and they let go of somebody else, Jake something. I forgot his last name, but it's a little bit of news for them. They are, obviously you don't see any wins about them because they are on a little bit of a losing streak again, but hopefully things could go better in the future for them in the new year. But on to that note, of course, it's New Year's Eve today, and of course, Happy New Year's to everybody else. And hopefully, y'all don't drink too much. It is during the week, but have fun, be safe. Don't get too crazy. And like I always say, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think, and have a great rest of your day. And yes, of course, I forgot to show what shirt I'm wearing, but yes, it is a new shirt from To The Stars. Really awesome shirt, very cool. Of course, To The Stars, Tom DeLonge, so company, so another Christmas gift, so thanks again. And yes, sorry, have a great day.